All right, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to our Facebook Live this morning. And we have a few guests. I was off last Monday. I had a conference, and unfortunately, the scheduling did not quite work to be able to Zoom with you. But here this morning, it's a Monday morning. It's the first Monday of March. Goodness gracious, time is flying by. And it is just crazy. I'm just getting my computer set up here and making sure I can see you on Facebook Live if you have any questions. So the mug of the day, we have the Illinois Tollway with us and a lot of great things. So I have my Illinois Trooper, believe it or not, yeah, Illinois Trooper mug. So troopers do a great job keeping our roads safe, and really just want to give a shout out to them and all that they do as well. So today we have a guest, the executive director of the Tollway. Now, a lot of people don't understand that the Tollway is actually a public-private partnership with the state of Illinois. So the state of Illinois has some jurisdiction over the Tollway, but the Tollway in and of itself is its own entity with its own board of directors and with its own executive director. So we have Cassaundra Rouse, who's the executive director of the Illinois Tollway, and she is here with Bernard Nashif. He's the chief engineering officer, and also we have John Dante, who's the chief of staff. So if you have any questions, these folks know exactly what to do about the Tollway and any questions you have with regards to anything with a toll, to be quite honest. Cassaundra, I'm going to say Cassaundra just because she's a great person. She was named executive director of the Tollway Board of Directors in August of 2022. So right when we're coming out of COVID, she oversees the state's 294-mile tollway system, supporting 5 roadways across 12 counties in northern Illinois. So just to give you a little bit about herself, and then I will let her continue. She is, overall, she's responsible for providing safe, effective, and efficient toll highway system, ensuring the highest possible level of customer services. Believe it or not, the Tollway has 1.5 million daily drivers, which is insane amount of drivers. And in my humble opinion, it might be low, but the Tollway's 16-year, they have a $13 billion Move Illinois Capital program now in its 13th year. So I will let Cassaundra go through the rest of her bio, because you don't all want to hear me talk, and let her in and see what she has to say. So welcome to the Coffee with Kiffy Monday morning, first Monday in March session. So thanks for having us.
Yes, well, thank you so much for inviting us to have coffee and to speak with your constituents and listeners. I got my coffee this morning and let me get my mug here. And I just want to take a moment to just share a little bit about what my mug says. And it says, life tastes a lot better one sip at a time. So I thought it was a great mug for a Monday in March. So I want to say thank you very much for the introduction. And as you've mentioned, I have, been the executive director for a little bit over a year and a half. But I'm not new to the Tollway. Actually, March marks my 12th year at the Illinois Tollway. So I'm just really excited about just the journey I've been on with the Illinois Tollway, the opportunity to lead such a awesome, excellent organization that performs and delivers and, really strives daily to provide the best customer service to all of our drivers, all 1.5 million drivers that we have, on a daily basis. So we're doing a lot, in the region, and this is just, an awesome time to lead, not just from an Illinois Tollway standpoint, but just to be in this industry of transportation. And I am excited to have, as you mentioned, John Donato, our chief of staff, and our chief engineering officer, Bernard Nashif, on as well. So thank you. And I'm free to kind of go into just a little bit about our program and what's been happening, if you'd like for me to continue.
Well, I guess we'll let John or Bernard want to talk a little bit about what they do, just since they're on the call and represents the team that is behind the tollway system. If you want to give a quick shout out or a quick hello, that's you're more than welcome to.
Sure. Good morning, Representative. I'm John Donato, Chief of Staff for the agency. Cassaundra and I go way back. I was Chief of Procurement at the Tollway from 2011 through 2020. And then, for the 3 years, I was the Chief Procurement Officer for all the state-funded universities. And then I just came back on in November to join Cassaundra back at the Tollway and help run the agency's day-to-day operations. And you may remember, Representative, I did a presentation with you back in, I think, 2014 at the Women's Business Development Center. It was an event in Ottawa. I did a little presentation on how to do business with the Tollway, and you gave a good story of your background, and that sticks with me to this day. You have a real good story in your life, and I appreciated that. So it's great. It's great to see you again.
Well, thank you so much. When we do, as state representatives, do speaking engagements, it's hard to tell what sticks with people and what doesn't. So I'm happy that something actually stuck with you. So that's great. And then we'll pass it over to Manar.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Manar Nashif. I'm the Chief Engineering Officer of the Illinois Tollway, and I oversee the implementation of our Move Illinois Capital Program. So we are as you mentioned, we're in the 13th year of our $15 billion program. We're doing a lot of great things on the Tollway, a lot of big projects, delivering improvements to our customers through this program. And we hope that it's providing congestion relief, new access, economic development, all those great things that come along with infrastructure improvements. I a little bit about myself. I am a proud Kane County native. Grew up not in your district, but further north in the Elgin area. Born and raised up there, so I still have roots. I was there over the weekend, and every now and then I do make it down to the Aurora area. I like River's Edge Park. I know that's also not in your district, but I do get down that way every once in a while. So good to be with you today. Thanks for having us.
No, that's wonderful. River's Edge Park is just pretty much right next to my district, so yeah. I go there quite often, and it's a great place to be as well. We have a couple people on Facebook joining us that said good morning. We have Sally and Bob Dunn, Roger Trend, and Bob Eggert. So thank you guys for joining us this morning on Facebook Live. They are watching us as we speak. So overall, I think it's very exciting. Although I do, my iPass is stuck to my windshield, but there's a new initiative with iPass that I think is just really exciting. And, from a policy wonk, I think it's exciting because it's just showing how progressive and how going forward, embracing technology, this new, get rid of the old. I think the transponder is going to go the way of the VHS tape and the and some of those the Atari game, some of those other old school things that we'll look back fondly and be like, oh, remember when you used to listen to music on a thing called a cassette? People are going to say, oh, remember when you used to go through iPass with this thing called a transponder? So Cassaundra, you want to talk a little bit about the new initiative that the Illinois Tollway has?
Yes, I sure will. And I like the way you intro that. And that's exactly, it's even the way we used to have the big clunky, cell phone, and now how the cell phone has gotten a whole lot smaller and sleeker. So the same thing with what we're talking about here, which is just a new form of a transponder in the form of a sticker tag. And so, I'd like to start off by saying, the Illinois Tollway is always looking for opportunities to really adopt new tolling technology. In doing so, it allows less expensive operating expenses. And so the introduction of the sticker tag is just really the newest evolution of a transponder. And we this year are excited in January to launch our new our sticker tags as the transponder. And we're doing this really in coordination with 19 other Easy Pass states. So while we're not the first to do it, we're just happy to be joining others and bringing this to Illinois to our customers. And what we're finding is that, this sticker tag, and one of the reasons why we're doing it is, one, it's more convenient, it's more reliable, again, less obtrusive than that, box, just really in the form of a sticker. But from a cost standpoint, it's removing a barrier that we have found that some customers had with actually becoming an iPass customer. because now you can activate this sticker tag and there's no deposit required to activate such tag. So it's easy to activate as well, and actually have an example of what one looks like. Hopefully you can see this, but this is literally what the sticker tag looks like, which is right over here. And we are really hoping that everyone, that uses our system, decides to use a sticker tag. And one thing we're finding out, some people don't know, you get a 50% discount if you're an iPass user on your tolls. So I invite everyone to go out to get a sticker tag, and it's so easy to do. You go online or IllinoisTollway.com website. There's an area on there where you can have a sticker tag mailed directly to your house. You can download our mobile app and request a sticker tag that way. You can also come to any of our walk-up service centers and our Downers Grove headquarters location. Any of our Oasis locations also have them available. And then locally in your area, you can go to any Jewel Foods Osco store. And if you're in the Rockford area, you can go to a Road Ranger to actually pick up a sticker tag.
Here's a question that with the stickers, obviously they stick to the car. So like once in a while, I have my daughter's car on my iPass account, and then she's supposed to take my transponder, and I got a nastygram that she didn't last time she was driving. But so can multiple stickers be affiliated with the same account so that it gets drawn from the same so I could get a sticker tag for my daughter, but still have it on my account, I guess the question is.
Yes, you can have multiple sticker tags added to the same account. You can have multiple transponders in the hard box also on the same account. And there, one thing I want to highlight is that unlike with the transponder box, you could move it from vehicle to vehicle. With the sticker tag, it has to stay affixed to the vehicle that you initially install it. So you can't just remove it, because once you try to peel that sticker tag off, you'll ruin the technology that's embedded in the sticker tag. So you'll just have to, replace and get a new sticker tag. So, we're not doing away at this time with the hard box transponder. So if you find yourself renting a car and you want to, move your hard box transponder that you now, kind of have to the side because you're using a sticker tag, you can just move that, hard box transponder into the rental car that you're using, or if indeed you do have a vehicle where you're kind of moving a transponder from car to car. But the sticker tag really is, the best way to ensure that you are continuing to receive the 50% discount on tolls, because you have that active transponder and a sticker tag in your car. And one thing I highlight, the sticker tag doesn't expire. So it's once you install it, it is there until you remove it and have to replace it with a new sticker tag.
So you can have a sticker tag and a transponder on the same account?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so for those individuals that want to hold on to that transponder for as long as they want to, they can also get a sticker tag as well, and the transponder can use the same account. Because I know that sometimes when I had to move it to a different car, my car had the nice Velcro in it, but the other car, you put it on your dashboard, it goes flying right across this, then you got to go find it. And so I think the sticker tag is going to be a lot more easier than trying to find a transponder that might or might not be in a good spot.
Exactly. And then, what also happens, then you risk that, the equipment in the road doesn't read it if it's, all the way over in the corner, or in some cases it's, like you said, falling on the side of the car, so at least now you get to stick that sticker tag in there and it'll stay indefinitely until you remove it. So.
And then I'm just assuming that the sticker tag has to be up front by the rear view mirror, up top on the
Yes.
on your windshield, not down in the corner.
Exactly. So the best place to ensure readability is to make sure you fix it right underneath your rear view window mirror, which is where you typically would have your transponder. So yes, that is the best location to install.
No, that's exciting. Now, what is exciting to me, but not exciting to travelers, is when we have these massive construction. Like my daddy would always say, there's two seasons in Illinois, there's winter and construction. Uh, and I know a lot of people want to talk about how these roads are not funded by the state. They're funded by user tax, and the use tax is what we were just talking about, tolls. And it is always pointed out to me that you are hard pressed to find a pothole in the Illinois Tollway system because the roads are maintained by the individuals that drive on them, and that you are really embarking, as we mentioned, really embarking on the Move Illinois Capital Plan, which is funded by user fees, by your tolls, so people know exactly where their toll money's going, eliminating potholes and making sure that things are going in the right direction. And you've embarked on a 16-year, $15 billion program called Move Illinois. It's now in its 13th year. So it's a 16 year, you're in your 13th year, so you got 3 years left, I'm assuming. And so you want to talk a little bit about, first of all, the construction that you've done, so that I know sometimes folks that drive along don't always realize, what all's been done, and then what you plan on doing in these next couple of years of this capital program.
Absolutely. I'll start off and then I'll turn things over to our Chief Engineering Officer. But as you mentioned, exactly, we are in that 13th year of our 16-year program that's expected to, move off in 2027. We've done a lot of things with the Move Illinois program since its inception in 2012. It had, project priorities of really building a 21st century transportation system, saving drivers time and money, making sure we're addressing this existing system needs and driving the economic engine, and then also making sure that we're delivering one of the cleanest programs that we can. So we've made a lot of investment in those project priorities, and a number of projects have come out on the different corridors that we have. And Manar will talk a lot about that. But this program is 72% complete. And many, will start asking, really, what's next in that program. And we're really embarking upon an effort to determine what happens, after Move Illinois as well. But before I get into, I like to have the opportunity to speak, about what's next. But I do want Manar to just highlight, some of the successes, from this Move Illinois program. And we really pride ourselves on not only the condition of our roads, our roadway maintenance teams, and I want to take a moment to highlight them. Those are the guys that are out there keeping the roads, plowed, during the winter season, or free of debris, which also creates a huge safety issue, for the traveling public. They do a phenomenal job in just keeping the system, of our roadways, very pristine and clean. And then also state police for the safety that's delivered along the system as well. Manar, if you can talk a little bit about, just some of the successes and the various projects we've delivered over the last, 12 years.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, so we our maintenance facility is located in that area. It's our M8, what we call our M8 facility in Aurora. It's just east of 25, so just east of the Fox River. It's on the south side of I-88, and that's where all the operation and the maintenance of the roadway, out on 88 there takes place. And so, if you notice, when you travel down the tollway, it's very clean. The shoulders are very clean, and those guys really, they take pride in making sure it stays that way. And that the system, that we respond to incidents, and we, take care of the system out that way. But in terms of our projects, we hit the ground running back in 2011 when this program kicked off. And some of the big accomplishments, we completed a 62-mile reconstruction of I-90. So, further north from the Kennedy Expressway all the way out west to the Rockford area. That was a big early project that we completed. We built a new tollway, the Illinois Route 390 tollway. That's the tollway that goes out from Hanover Park, Lake Street, US Route 20, all the way into Route 83 in the Bensonville area. And then we completed the connection of two interstates, I-57 and I-294. So any of your constituents that are, maybe headed east and then going down to U of I or something that want to take 57, you can actually connect to it now. But in terms of, the area within your district, Representative, we did complete a resurfacing of I-88 in the 59 area going west. So we did a nice asphalt overlay there. Last year, we completed resurfacing of the I-88 and Illinois Route 31 ramps. So it's time to, improve the condition of those ramps. We completed those last year on time, on schedule, on budget. And then this year, just talk about some of the work we're doing this year. We are going to be doing some pavement repairs. Again, keep making sure the road stays in great condition. From US 30, from Route 56 going west. So it's going to extend pretty far west, but want to make sure that the pavement out in that area is maintained in a good state of repair. We are also doing an interesting project we're doing near the Aurora Toll Plaza. It's called a weigh-in motion system. So one of the big initiatives as part of this program is really to implement technology and the latest and greatest technology on the road to help us manage those traffic incidents and make sure we have eyes on the road. So this weigh-in motion system is actually a system that we put in the pavement, and it actually measures the weight of vehicles traveling over it at highway speeds. And so what that helps us do is, when there are these large trucks traveling down our system, it's making sure that they are either permitted or that they are traveling with their legal load limits, making sure they meet legal load limits. So it's a nice system that we're putting in place. And then this one is actually going to detect height of vehicles. It's one of the first that we're doing, and it's out in the Aurora, near the Aurora Toll Plaza out there. We are also doing bridge repairs further west on Peace Road and Tower Road. So further west there, but we are doing work over the bridges. And for all of this work, we're maintaining the same number of lanes. So we want to make sure still, while we're doing all this work, that traffic is still moving safely and efficiently through these work zones. So, a lot of good stuff happening, a lot of work happening this year. This is one of the largest years of this program. So there's a lot happening. Some of our larger projects, or our big projects, are happening a little further to the east. We're doing a big project on I-294, but we are doing work all over the system, and making really good investments. And we're seeing, really the fruits of the labor come through the economic development and the benefits that come, the job creation, and all those things that come with these types of infrastructure projects.
No, that's very exciting. We have a couple questions from our Facebook viewers. Bob Dunn wants to know, what happens if someone sells a vehicle and forgets to take the tag out of the vehicle?
So I'll just thank you for the question. Yes, and it is very important to remember to remove the sticker tag if you do obviously sell or dispose of your vehicle in any way. However, we do have an awesome customer service team, and they would, in the instance that there is a scenario where you've forgotten, I'm sure you have documentation that'll show at what point you may have transitioned the vehicle. And so you will work with our customer service team that would, review that information. And if in some reason someone else has started to use that, there is a process that we would have internally to kind of help, address, that scenario. But obviously we do emphasize, please do remember, but we do understand that there are cases where you might forget to remove it. But again, our customer service team is prepared and ready to assist in those scenarios when they do occur.
I think that's really important and a great question, Bob. We're working, I know several of my colleagues are working with regards to if somebody's vehicle's in an accident, gets towed, and that's in the tow yard, and then sometimes they just scrap that if the vehicle is not repairable, or if insurance deems it totally a loss, and they might never see their vehicle again.
Yes.
Because of that certain circumstances. So it's good that you have those internal controls that would be able to address that situation with regards to these vehicles, because even though an insurance company deems them a loss, we've seen them get refurbished, repurposed. Sometimes individuals do take these on and reuse these vehicles, and the tag could still be in there. So that's so an individual in that situation should probably call the tollway or the customer service right away and deactivate.
Yes,
You can deactivate the tag, I'm assuming.
yes, you would deactivate the tag, but I would also say that, that's why we really push a lot of self-service, customer service channels. So if you downloaded our mobile app by chance, you'll actually be able to go into your account and deactivate the tag, yourself at some point. But then you can also obviously call customer service, or you can also go online to access your account and remove the tag in that way as well. But regardless, there are a number of customer service channels available to our customers, just to make sure that in those scenarios that there's a way to rectify it and basically make the customer whole with either removal of that tag, or if for some reason there's any activity that they don't recognize, the customer service team is definitely well versed at addressing those issues and concerns.
That's great. And I have to say, I know I'm dating myself, but I didn't even realize that the Illinois Tollway had a mobile app. I know there's an app for everything. But
there is. And this app and we really are trying to push our customers to the mobile app, because it's one way that we can also send notifications to you about your account, any, information that you need to be made aware of in regard to traveling the system. So it is really one of the best ways to just keep in touch with, what's happening, on our toll roads, and even in the areas in which you're traveling, maybe outside of the state. So a good way to travel the system.
So they give updates, like traffic updates if there's a delay or if there's an accident. So there's a lot that can go on that mobile app, I'm assuming.
Yes, and we're making improvements with that mobile app, month to month to months, where we are moving to that type of notification. And right now there's a lot of notification as it pertains to just your personal account, just making sure that you have, if for some reason there's a need to update your credit card, we can send that information, or as you're traveling the system, there's notifications related to just what that toll charge is. As we make advancements with our, sticker tag, or if there are any reminder or safety reminders, we're working with the mobile app to push out those types of notifications. And again, it's one of the, highlights. We try to make sure that we are delivering the best, and in all aspects, not just in roadway, but again, in service as well. And this is just one advancement in technology. As you stated, a lot of people have mobile apps now, so people are used to getting information in that way. And so we're just meeting the customer, how they like to receive information.
No, I think it's great. Everybody says government's a little slow, but you guys seem to be on top of the ball.
Yes.
Bob Egert said, will technology improve user costs? So he has an example. It says his example is an SUV with a trailer, light boat, or a pop-up camper. He paid 400 to 500% more for a toll on south of I-355. An iPass user yet, but they didn't get the discount. And then what about the trailers? So you have your sticker on your car, but how will that sticker I guess view if there's a trailer or something a little bit longer going through the iPass lane?
Mm-hmm. So we have technology in the road that's able to tell how many axles are on the vehicle that's passing through the system. And also that technology is able to identify whether or not it's an iPass, user, therefore subject to the, discounts. For some reason, if, the constituent that's asking the question is noticing something that's not operating, the way in which it had been, again, I invite them to, definitely call into our customer service team to further address, that issue. But our technology, out in the field is really, accurate and regularly updated to make sure that we are understanding the types of vehicles that are coming through the system, and making sure that we're giving it the appropriate, accurate toll rate. But I think what I'd probably best do is refer them to the customer service team if he's noticing something obscure with his account.
Now, what if this happened like last year? Can they still go back that far, or how long do they have to call in if they see something that's irregular in their account?
You can call at any time. We keep the records, and so again, our team is, definitely well versed at handling, any issues that you may have identified in your account, or at
No.
least explaining how it works.
Oh, that's wonderful. And then he said, as a second question, he says, EV weigh more than my combined trailer. Why does pulling a light trailer cost so much more than EV? So his view is, you have these commercial, I guess these commercial trailers that are really heavy, and then you have these recreational trailers, such as, a light little pop-up or something like that. So his question is, I guess, why are they the same price, for lack of a better word?
Yes. So I do know that, we work with our traffic engineers that firms that help, determined, some 12, 13 years ago what the toll rate should be. And one thing I'll highlight, for all of your constituents is that we, from a tollway perspective, outside of the commercial vehicle, we look at the passenger vehicles, we haven't raised toll rates since 2011. And that you don't see in the tolling industry. And we're like the only tolling agency that has not done so. And so we have the lowest toll rate per mile across the tolling industry. However, as many have experienced, but we have, a system, again, that delivers. And so we are, internally, we operate in a very streamlined, cost effective and manner, just to make sure that, we can deliver, operationally the way that we have. Again, having not, increased tolls in this area. From a commercial vehicle standpoint, which I'm sure is what your constituent is speaking to, there are, increases that were improved along the way, because the reality is the heavier equipment, on the road outside of the weight of a passenger vehicle, it does, damage the roads, sooner than maybe what we would want. So there's a lot of reinvestment that needs to happen to keep the roads in a good, traveling condition. So, I, would state that generally speaking, those vehicles then are charged, more per mile than what you would see a passenger vehicle because of that. And I don't know, Manar, if you want to
Yeah.
add into that.
Yeah, I was going to add. So yeah, again, vehicles can travel a system that are within the legal load limits without having to pay an additional cost. But if there are any vehicles that are traveling that are overweight, they have to get a permit from the tollway, and there is a charge to that permit. And it's based on the weight and the size and all that stuff. And that's relates to the technology I was talking about earlier, that we want to make sure that those overweight vehicles that are using the system are actually getting permits. And so we're installing this technology to make sure that we are, enforcing that requirement. Because it does impact our pavements. We want to make sure we know where all these vehicles are traveling from a safety standpoint. And so, but yeah, any vehicles traveling over legal load limits are required to be permitted, and there's a fee for those permits.
So what if I guess the question is, if they're being charged per axle, and they're just pulling like let's just say a small trailer with 2 jet skis on it that aren't that heavy, but they're going to be charged per axle the same charge as other individuals that might have a trailer that has a heavier load. So I guess the question was, when you have people that are doing recreational things, pulling recreational trailers that are, relatively light, like those small little pop-up campers or the single person campers, I guess the question is, if they're lighter, then why would they be just counted by axle versus by use of what the trailer is? I guess is a little bit of their question as well. Because those little pop-ups, those single pop-ups that you can just sleep in are pretty light.
Yeah, and I'll have to just to confirm, and maybe we can get back to your office with the information, because unfortunately I don't have anyone from my customer service team on here just to revisit for your constituent what the charges are by axle, just to clarify, that information from our end.
Oh no, that's wonderful. Yeah, we can get back to He's on our Facebook feed, so we have his name and we know who he is. So,
Good.
Sally asks, how will cost be billed? Right now, it comes out of my deposit. She's still drawing from her deposit. God bless her. She must not drive that much. I've already replenished multiple times on mine, but will drivers be refunded the deposits? So I guess they had to give a $40 deposit, which goes into the account for the transponder. And she's wondering if she goes to a sticker, how will that be managed?
Yes, absolutely. So when you receive the sticker tag and you go through the process to activate it online, you'll see a prompt that will ask, do you want to transfer the $10 deposit from the transponder over to the sticker tag? So that's how that will be addressed, and it'll allow you to realize the benefit of activating a sticker tag and taking the deposit off of the hardbox transponder.
Oh, that sounds pretty easy.
Yep, it's pretty easy. We strive to do that, to make it pretty seamless and easy.
Roger wants to know if you guys work with the state police, because he says District 15 State Police could put more units on the highway to stop the reckless driving on I-88. Now, I have literally seen this, cars going in excess of 100 miles an hour. In fact, the other day, I was passed, like I was standing still by two Audis that looked like they were racing each other. And so Roger's wondering how the tollway works with the state police if you notice more reckless driving, such as Roger says on I-88.
Great question. Safety obviously is our top priority at the agency, and state police, works hand in hand with us to just make sure that we are, providing the safest, traveling experience possible. As you stated, I would say since the pandemic, where people are back on the road again, and speed has been identified, as a major risk area. And so we are working with state police to make sure that we, have the appropriate presence out there. We look for our, customers, our travelers to, highlight anything that they're seeing. And so I thank you for the question, so that, we can, kind of make sure that we're taking this back to state police as well to, put more emphasis and more presence out there on 88 and any other roadway where we've noticed this. We do meet with them we have weekly, meetings with them. Our board has monthly interactions with them where they're providing us updates on, incidents on the road, as well as more prevention opportunities to ensure we're reminding, drivers to wear your seatbelt. Also, slow down and obey the speed limit. So there are a number of, various, safety measurements and tracking mechanisms that we use to just highlight where we may have issues on the system, and reminders that need to be placed out there to the traveling public. And then also messaging just to kind of protect our, construction workers that are out there, as well as our roadway maintenance team that is out there when they're assisting, disabled vehicles or patrons to move over and obey the Scots law as well, just to make sure that we're keeping everyone safe that's out there. So thank you. Great question.
Yeah, safety is very important. One of the things I've noticed, and maybe this is an after COVID thing, but I've noticed that there doesn't seem to be a continuity of traffic patterns anymore. You get individuals driving under the speed limit in the left lane. You get people driving over the speed limit in the right. So is there, and this was brought up to me in a meeting, is there, do we need to start reminding people slower traffic goes to the, passing on the left, slower traffic to the right? Because on numerous occasions, the two left lanes, I travel I-88 a lot, the two left lanes are by individuals going below the speed limit, and it causes a huge backup. And then it causes individuals, I've seen individuals go all the way to the right lane to pass and to try to get around these slow moving vehicles, because a slow moving vehicle can be just as dangerous as a fast moving vehicle with regards to, traffic. And so is there something we need to do to start reminding people to the natural traffic patterns, like passing on the left. It just seems like after COVID, the normalcy of the traffic patterns that I grew up in is a little blurred. It just doesn't feel like the same kind of roadways as it was before COVID, if that makes sense.
Oh, it makes a lot of sense. And you raised such an excellent point there. And I know my team is taking notes here. So reminders, awareness campaigns around safety are so important. And we are actually, launching a big safety campaign, April, May timeframe. And this is going to be a really focused campaign, not just for, Tollway, in Illinois, but across the North America and internationally. We are all gathering to launch the same, safety message during the same period of time, to send out reminders, just as you said, awareness campaigns on just the basic, behaviors of driving. Because I agree with you. I think many of our travelers have forgotten just that. Speed kills. Driving without your seatbelt also creates a lot of, safety related issues. And just generally not obeying that, the far left lane is where you might, is more of the passing lane, and the other two lanes, yes, you've got to at least drive the minimum of the speed limit, because it in itself, causes, incidents to happen. And even what happens when you do have an incident, and, there've been, issues where people are standing outside their vehicles when they're disabled and not even, obeying some of the basic safety related protocols. When your vehicle stops, you're in maybe an incident. Well, how do you make sure that you're, operating in a safe manner so that you're not, increasing the risk of other incidents happening. So we, again, the points that you're making here are going to be part of that, awareness campaign issue. And we look forward to working with your office to help us get that messaging out. And then working throughout the year to continue to push, how to drive, what promotes, safe driving behaviors. So we're really looking forward to getting that information out there.
And whatever our office can do, we can help out with that as well. That definitely, I think that the more information, the better. And speaking of that, I know a couple individuals were a little disappointed that the quirky, fun messages on the tollway had to stop because the federal government said you're not allowed to have fun in life. You have to have messages that are boring and to the point. But I have to say that the really creativity of the tollway messages, I think got people talking about messaging and was really fun. So kudos to the individual that was really, really creative. And hopefully under the new guidelines of, clarity first, we can still be creative with our messaging, because I know that a lot of people talked about it and really brought a smile to their face while sending a very important message of safety and being aware of things. So I just wanted to give a little shout out to that. And I noticed that it came across my desk. The federal government said no more messages that require thought.
Right. Or no fun way to kind of get that message across to make it stick, but we'll still try to achieve that as well, because some of those sayings did make you think after you pass by, give you a little chuckle, and you remember it throughout the day. So yes, agreed.
Yeah. And then finally, we'll leave it on this. And again, I really appreciate you taking the time out to talk, but I appreciate the tollway system being able to drive from Illinois all the way to Washington, D.C. without even stopping or having to deal with other states' tolls, which I think is wonderful. But the question that's been brought to me is I-80. So it looks like all the other states, that major thoroughfare is tolled, but I-80 is another major thoroughfare that's not tolled. And I tell people it's a very intricate process in order to get a state road turned into a tollway road. But is that something the tollways looked at all, or because there's a lot of interstate travel that goes on that road, and the state is paying for these companies to drive right through Illinois, tear up our roads, and have no accountability whatsoever. And as you said, the tollway is a fee base, so those that use it pay for it. The taxpayers don't pay for it, just the individuals that are using it, which is a fair, in my opinion, I think that's a very fair system. But has there been any talk or any thought processes with regards to I-80 that goes straight through and a lot of trucks go through there and a lot of companies use I-80 to go through Illinois?
So this is, thank you. This is a great question and a perfect segue into, what I wanted to make sure I get a chance to highlight, to those that are having the opportunity to participate this morning. And that is, we talked about how the tollway from their Move Illinois capital program perspective, we're 72% complete and almost done with the program that's going to end in 2027. So we have started to, really embark upon, what's next? What does the next capital program for the tollway look like? And the governor has, given us a challenge and has set forth some key guiding principles to work around for this next capital program. And those guiding principles are innovation. He wants to make sure that we are thinking about innovation and what does that mean for not only the tollway system but the state, and how can we build innovation in roadway infrastructure? Sustainability is another key guiding principle. What does EV charging look like in the region? Diversity and inclusion and economic impact is and equitable economic impact is the third and the fourth, guiding principle underneath this. What's next in a capital program? So what we're doing to really shape, what that means is having a number of interactions with various communities, elected officials, organizations to really bring in their thoughts around what does that mean? Because our system surrounds 8.4 million, residents across 12 counties. And so 80 is, a project or a discussion point that, we are bringing into, what is next. And so we are hoping that others that, may be thinking, hey, because yes, 80 is a big corridor for trucking and traffic and just, overall meets, economic development opportunities as well. And so how does the tollway, kind of fit within that, space? And so many of the conversations that you are probably in yourself, we are hoping and wanting and have provided an opportunity for people to participate in helping us develop out what the next capital program is going to be to address, some of these needs that we've seen in the system. How does autonomous vehicles fit in? Again, as I mentioned, in-road charging, what does tollway expansion look like? So we have set forth a number of different external outreach sessions to really develop what these conversations are and some of these, initiatives and projects. I invite, people to visit the IllinoisTollway.com/future website to really catch up on, what we're doing to advance what comes next and, how you can get involved in that discussion. There is a QR code and a link to take a survey to provide, feedback to us so that, we can really shape this out. We're not doing this alone. We have a 40-person stakeholder advisory team that's being formed. That's representing, labor, business, civic, nonprofit, environmental, industry, and other regional leaders to also be a part of this conversation. We have an elected officials tour to pull in all of this thought, to make sure that, again, we are serving the state and providing the transportation solutions that are needed for those that are in the state of Illinois, but then also those are traveling through to make sure that we are also creating jobs, building small and diverse businesses as well. So there's just a lot of opportunities in this discussion, as you can see, because I've thrown out a lot. But, this is a topic, in the region, because this time next year, when hopefully we have the chance to be with you for another, coffee, we'll be talking a little bit more about what is in the next capital program for the Illinois Tollway.
Oh, that's exciting. And I know that people don't get excited about roads normally, but I think that infrastructure is so key to so many parts of the state of Illinois, economically and the movement of goods and people, and it's so important. So, but that's really exciting, and I know that people have asked me about I-80 because Illinois taxpayers are subsidizing a road that's being used primarily by individuals that are not Illinois taxpayers. So it's one of
Right.
those things that I don't think is very fair to allow the free use of that road by companies going through the state of Illinois, transporting their goods to other places. When you look at the rest of the states to the one side of us, and it's the toll the whole way. So it's one of those things. So that's exciting. So we're excited to see what the future is. And again, we'll post your website so that if people wants more information with regards to the tollway, reaching out. I'm assuming you can sign up for emails if individuals want to be kept informed, if there's any procurement fairs, job fairs, ice warnings, and a lot that I'm assuming the Illinois Tollway sends out emails informing the public of things, as well as on the app. So
Absolutely, there is, and we look forward to everyone engaging. So thank you.
well, thank you so much. I'm just gonna give a quick wrap up. I want to appreciate you and your team being on with us and garnering questions and really having a great, robust discussion. A lot of people, they drive the tollway, but they don't think of the tollway. And I think that it's just this inner dynamics and the dynamics that you're always working for safety and working with the police and making sure that the roads are kept in pristine condition are really, really important. So thank you so much for taking time out of your Monday.
Thank you for having us.
Yep. And you can stay on and listen, or you can be free to drop off. But thank you so much again for participating as well. So
Right. Take care.
yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Well, today is the first Monday in March. What does that mean? Every first Monday of March is Casimir Pulaski Day. So, who was Casimir Pulaski? Well, I grew up on 56th and Pulaski, so I drove that road pretty much all the time to my grandparents' house, and didn't quite know why it was named after Pulaski. So, Casimir Pulaski Day, a day of commemoration for the Polish war hero who died in pursuit of America's freedom. So he was legendary Revolutionary War cavalry officer, and his contributions to U.S. military in the American Revolution earned him the title Father of the American Cavalry. So happy Casimir Pulaski Day. I am Polish. I got a 23andMe that says I got some Polish in me, along with some Dutch, but definitely we are certainly happy to celebrate Casimir Pulaski Day, the first Monday of every month. Also, believe it or not, there's national days for everything. Hug a GI Day, which you don't really need to hug a GI, a veteran. A GI is the word for veteran, and then give them a handshake, pat on the back. Just show appreciation. I think you should show appreciation for our veterans every day, but apparently there's a national holiday called Hug a GI Day. If you looked on our Facebook page, you know that the Oswego First Robotics Week 0 warm-up is happening. If you like robots, I have to tell you, it's really, really quite amazing. Just the things that the robots do, the kids that program the robots, I just have to say it really truly does make a big difference to me. All the things that the kids are doing, it really truly is amazing. I got no other words for it. They're just amazing. So what we looked at before the governor, and I apologize for missing last Monday. I was going to do a update on the budget, and again, I was at a conference and my scheduling didn't quite work out with the time change and some of the sessions. So with regards to that, the budget, what did happen, it was February 21st. So if you did not if you did not read, if you did not able to really look at the budget address, it is on Illinois.gov. Illinois.gov, and go to the governor's office. The governor put all his comments on pretty much online, so you can read exactly what his response was with regards to his talking points. Now, when we are looking at the budget address, when we're looking at the numbers, again, what this means, what does the budget address means? It means that this is the governor's proposed budget address. They propose it to the General Assembly. And when we look at what that means that the General Assembly is the checks and balances on the governor's office. And so what that means is that one of our checks and balances, our main checks and balances, is the budget. So, so as I mentioned this before, the governor sets line items. The General Assembly will look at these line items and adjust it, going line by line through the proposal, looking at the budget figures that they propose. Also, the governor has the authority to spend from 0 up to the line item with regards to the General Assembly. That is pretty much the check and balance with regards to that. Now, so the governor has some leeway in the budget. So when individuals say that, oh, the budget spends, X amount of millions of dollars on something, what the budget does is the budget appropriates that, which means it gives the governor the authority to spend money on this program. It does not mandate the governor to spend that much money on the program. So that's the executive level's authority. The legislative level's authority is to make laws that govern the executive branch, but also to pass a budget that is balanced. Now, the governor proposed a balanced budget, and the General Assembly for many years now has passed a balanced budget under Governor J.B. Pritzker. It was not balanced, and we didn't have a governor under former Governor Bruce Rauner, but we passed it. We've had 9 credit upgrades, so you don't have to believe me. The independent credit agencies that rate the bonds for the state of Illinois have upgraded our credit worthiness 9 times. So that is fact. Individuals want to act like it's not fact, but it is fact. So we are continuing to maintain our fiscal responsibility, and that is exactly what we're looking at. We've looked at, in the past, under former Governor Bruce Rauner, we had a $17 billion backlog. That's been gone. We've got $2 billion in the rainy day fund. We've made extra pension payments, which is important, but we always need to, we still have an issue with our pensions that we need to adjust. And again, Illinois now, in the first time in 20 years, is an A level credit rating with every credit agencies. A, alpha. That's amazing. Going from like triple B to A is amazing. So it takes a lot of hard work, a lot of balanced budgets. So those individuals that say Illinois does not have a balanced budget are not living in reality. And the reality is the credit rating agencies, and we are at an A level credit with every rating agencies, which is amazing. So what we are looking at is increasing funding. The governor wants to increase funding for early childhood education, more than $1 billion in new funding for elementary schools and high schools, and then $100 million in new funding for college financial aid. So those are some of the highlights, and that $22 million for workforce equity initiatives. So those are a bit of the highlights with regards to that. A little bit more is looking at hundreds of millions of dollars for community-based violence prevention, after school programs, youth summer programs, enrichment opportunities, $100 million for resources for police, which is training, and resources for first responders, new funding for in-car cameras, non-lethal weapons, and 2 new state police cadet classes. And then also looking at committing about $1 million to raise awareness of red flag laws, and about 2 million for safe gun storage initiatives, and really informing people how to be responsible gun owners. Access to, they're looking at quality, affordable health care in areas that we talked about this before, healthcare deserts. So safety net providers and places looking at reimbursement rates for caregivers and image services are all part of the governor's budget, along with some tax credit help with women-owned, minority-owned businesses, and looking at small nonprofits and helping them as well, because our small nonprofits, our small businesses are really the fabric of our community. So we're looking at, providing some funds for our local governments, our cities and villages, and then we're looking at additional funding for our school districts. Every year we passed the evidence-based funding formula for our school districts. And every year in the law, it says to increase the funding by 350 million. We're doing that again this year. The only year that we missed was during COVID. And then looking at affordable housing and homeless prevention. And the governor mentioned in his remarks that he is also focusing on veteran homeless prevention as well. I realize, and I'm going to put this on the record, that certain individuals want to, for lack of a better word, compare struggling segments of our community. And with regards to homelessness, with regards to individuals coming in seeking asylum, and the veteran community. So all individuals need help. And I know as a veteran, our veterans need help as well. And we need to work on that as well. And we have homeless prevention programs, and the governor has mentioned homeless prevention programs for veterans, which are very important. But it's also important to have homeless prevention for women and children and individuals, whether they are struggling in life or whether they're asylum seekers. Individual lives all have value, and our programs need to help them as well. So when individuals say, oh, why aren't we focusing on homeless veterans when we're focusing on asylum seekers that are homeless, that's technically a false narrative, because we need to help individuals overall, and the state's role is to help overall individuals. The governor specifically mentioned veteran homelessness in his remarks. So that is very important to him as well. But we also need to take care of asylum seekers. We also need to take care of other individuals that are looking for affordable housing in our communities as well. So certainly we need to focus on that, but we also need to focus on individuals that have been systematically put down by the system, and also all different initiatives. So I don't want to pit veterans against other individuals that are struggling. Certainly, I focus, and the governor's focusing on homeless prevention for veterans and homelessness in the veteran community as well, which I give credit to the governor for really working hard on homeless prevention overall and focusing on veteran homelessness. We're also looking at youth employment opportunities, and looking at supporting our chambers of commerce and minority startup companies, as well as infrastructure projects throughout. So there's a lot of numbers. I'm not going to throw out a lot of numbers at you right now. Just a quick overview. Increased funding for critical human services. Again, I said increased funding in education. Increased funding for our most vulnerable, which includes our community care program. Investment, again, in the Chicago Veterans Home, continuing to staff that, and investment in improving maternal mortality rates of our African American women. We have women childbirth age that are dying in childbirth here in Illinois, mostly in the African American community, and we need to start working on that. So we're investing with regards to that. I touched briefly on asylum seekers. So we're working hard with regards to the individuals that are coming to Illinois. As I said before, mostly from Venezuela, and the federal government has increased the time in which they can turn around work visas for asylum seekers and working to make sure that they are also part of the equation. Nothing happens in a vacuum. We certainly appreciate in the House, we have our new arrivals working group and the budget negotiation teams and all the committees are going to go line item by line item and look to see what we can do to help individuals in the state of Illinois and individuals coming to the state of Illinois. So that's a quick update with regards to the budget address. Now, as we sit right now, I'm on the revenue committee. I was on budget committee for 10 years now. This session I'm on revenue. But we continue to look at the budget, the revenues, and with regards to that. So I really do appreciate the hard work that went into the budget and the budget individuals now that's going to go through the budget process line item by line item. So we are in schedule this week. I know we're going a little bit over. We started a little bit later. My apologies for that. Both chambers are meeting, the House and the Senate. There's a large number of bills that are posted to committee. Certainly it's really important. We have deadlines. The deadline to move the bills out of committee in the Senate is March 15th. In the House, it's April 5th. But the sooner we can get it out, the better. I've talked about COGFA before, the Commission on Government Forecast Accountability. We get reports every single month from them. Our economy is still solid. We have solid tax revenue. It's slowing down a little bit, but we've had we've returned to our pre-pandemic levels of employment. We've been pretty robust with regards to our economy, so it's slowing a little bit as it pertains to COGFA. Again, you can read that report online. And then we also get we have a legislative audit commission. So the Auditor General audits a lot of things, and some of the issues that the audit finds is when we had the big grant, the business interruption grant, which regards to COVID. Some of the funds that got it, the businesses were ineligible. Our DCO is taking responsibility and looking how to recover the incorrect payments made. And then the comptroller, talking about spending, the comptroller has a portal to track migrant-related spending. So Comptroller Susanna Mendoza, in terms of being completely transparent, you can pretty much go on her website and see every bill that the state of Illinois has paid. So you can see which agency, which vendor. The portal is really interesting if you're interested in those kind of things. I am as well. There's a lot of activity from DCO, the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. I urge you to go to their website. They are giving out loans. They are giving out grants. They are looking at state designated cultural district programs. Soundstage grants. So DCEO is the funding mechanism for economic development. And then the Illinois Protection Agency also has grants available as well. Please, you can look at the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency, energy efficiency access grants. They also are looking at polluters and in low socioeconomic areas. And then looking at other things such as water quality. So again, learn your state. Look at these different agencies. And we also have the Department of Healthcare and Family Services. So we do a lot with Medicaid. We are certainly looking at Medicaid deserts. The governor talked in his budget address about ghost networks. Ghost networks is an important thing that does happen in the Medicaid program. And other providers with regards to stating that they have a robust list of providers that you can choose from. And then when you start going through the list of providers, then you find out they're not taking new patients or that they're no longer part of the program. Or so really, and I attended a session on ghost networks as well. It's really disingenuous to individuals trying to find healthcare, trying to find mental health care, or a range of services to get the runaround that there's no services in your area. One of the things that I think is really cool, just giving you a quick breakdown, is the Lumina Foundation named the Illinois Board of Higher Education a winner of the Great Admissions Redesign Challenge. And this was a nationwide competition aimed at revolutionizing the college admissions process to enhance accessibility for all students. Congratulations to the Illinois Board of Higher Education for receiving the grant of $750,000. We also have the Illinois Criminal Justice Information Authority, ICJA, and they are looking to award grants under the Restore, Reinvest, and Renew program. So again, get to learn your state. And we just had IDOT, we just had the Tollway. IDOT has a virtual workshop in March, Illinois Department of Transportation, which is different than the Illinois Tollway, but the Illinois Department of Transportation maintains the state roads. And they are having a procurement workshop talking about the successes of all that. So, of course, the Illinois Department of Public Health updated guidance for the CDC for dealing with a range of respiratory viruses, including COVID-19, the flu, and RSV. Check them out as well. And then, just for your knowledge, the Illinois Supreme Court will convene in Springfield March 12th and 14th to consider 6 cases. So on March 21st, the court will convene at Northern Illinois University as part of its Ride the Circuits program. So for those of you that are interested and haven't seen an Illinois Supreme Court meet and listen to oral arguments, it's something that is interesting to do. And really part of our checks and balances. We have the courts and the legislative system and the executive branch. So those are our 3 branches of government that has served us for hundreds of years, hopefully continue to serve us for hundreds more. But definitely that's a really important thing. So other than that, other than the budget and bills that we will be working on this week, Illinois ranks number 2 in the nation for corporate expansions and relocations for the 2nd year. Site Selection Magazine. For all those people that say that Illinois is down, 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 they're not true. And Illinois is going up, up, up. Not only in our credit ratings, but we are number 2 in the nation for corporate projects, and Chicago, the top metro, for the 11th year in a row. The state ranks number 2 in the nation for corporate expansions and relocations. And we had 552 businesses expand or relocate in 2023. That's huge. We were number 2 in projects per capita, up from number 4 previous year. So certainly we are doing best. And our Midwest region saw the larger municipal bond deals, yet fewer issues in 2023 compared to previous years. We recognize that the way the state, the way school districts, any kind of formal local government, they issue bonds instead of taking out a loan. And because of our A rating, we get better interest rates. It's just like your credit score, but for the state. And which state represents the American electorate? According to Wallet Hub, Illinois is in the top 3. So they analyze the composition of an electorate, reflects the demographics of the population as it reflects as a nation, and which state best represents the United States. It found Illinois to be in the top 3. So, of course, no state can perfectly represent the United States of all the different aspects, but Illinois had a 94% similarity when all demographics are averaged. So, congratulations to that. So here is, we will give you a quick fun fact and then let you get on your way. Again, sign in for our emails. They come every week, loaded with information. Definitely something that I just can't all, cover in this. But here's a fun fact. Ghost Army, there's Ghost Army, veteran from Hoffman Estates is headed to Washington for a Congressional Gold Medal of Honor. Congratulations to him. So Bernie Bluestein and several other remaining members of the specialized and unsung World War II military unit will officially receive one of the nation's highest honors next month in Washington, D.C. Only 7 of the soldiers who conjured their deceptive quote unquote magic on the battlefields of France, Belgium, Germany, and elsewhere are still alive. And Bernie is one of them. He's 100 years old and lives in a retirement home in Hoffman Estates, but he's never been a person to brag about his World War II mission. 2 years ago, President Joe Biden signed a bill into law authorizing the Congressional Gold Medal to be awarded to the Ghost Army. The medal is Congress's highest expression of national appreciation for distinguished achievements and contributions. Bluestein and 3 others plan to travel to Washington, D.C. in March to receive duplicate bronze medals on a special ceremony on March 21st. The actual gold medal will be kept at the Smithsonian. He's quoted as saying that he's happy about all the glory, but it's not him. He grew up in a poor family. He's not the kind of guy who goes around and blows his horn. Bluestein will be in the nation's capital with his son, Keith, who is 68. So congratulations to Bernie Bluestein. How amazing is that? Congratulations also to Chicago Bears legend Steve McMichael to be inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame amid his battle with ALS. And then Keith Urban, the Black Keys, and the Chainsmokers headline NASCAR Chicago 2024. I did not see NASCAR last year. I might have to try and make it out this year. Locate just in our local realm, the village of Oswego is going to donate a parcel of land to Wolf's Crossing to the Oswego Fire Protection District to build its 5th fire station. There's been a lot, if you've noticed, there's been a lot of building along Wolf's Crossing, and that's going to be located on the southwest corner of Wolf's Crossing and DeVoe Drive. The parcel is approximately 1 acre. So that will serve the village's east side. The fire district, so unlike like the city of Aurora that has the Aurora Fire Department, the village of Oswego has a fire protection district. So it is a separate taxing body, but it instead of it being commingled with the village, like it's commingled with the city of Aurora, it's its own separate. And they have been seeing an immense rise in calls for service over the last 5 years. So, and then there's one of the things that's just fun is to look at the Aurora Country Club Friday, March 8th at 1 p.m. is Inspiring Women Celebrating the Power of Female Leadership. Of course, March is a day when we recognize, just wonderful women in our communities, in our history, those that have inspired us and worked with us. I have a couple, both back from the military and in my time, but definitely Women's History Month, look at that as well. So with that, have a great, wonderful Monday, first Monday in March, 51 degrees this Monday. I can't believe the weather swings. It's a changing. Climate is a changing. You can't deny that. February was I barely wore a winter coat this winter. There was that short bit of time. Again, I'm still transitioning. You notice I didn't get a chance to put my books on my bookshelves. Hopefully we'll get that done by our next Facebook Live. Working with my daughter. She's moving into my office space. So then I'm in this office space and she's transitioning as well, engaged and transitioning into the house while her now fiance is going to be deployed in September. So, and then he's going to be deployed for a year in Africa. So a little bit of a transition on my end as well. But hopefully I will get my office up and running. And I mean, it is running. It's just not fully out of boxes yet. So have a great Monday. Have a great week. And we will touch base next week to give you an update on bills in committee and how things are going in Springfield. So take care. I know we ran a little long today. Have a great rest of the day.